it's such a personal experience for people. Like I was saying, even the UFO or abduction experience, like I was thinking at the beginning, I thought it was an ET. If that person resonates with an ET experience and they don't do any further introspection or research on it, it'll stay an ET experience for the rest of their lives, and that's their truth.
Yeah,
they were abducted, and if they do some further introspection later, find out it's angelic or spiritual contact, then that becomes their truth. And people outside of that won't know until they speak their truth, and then it becomes someone else's truth. And I think that's pretty much how things work.
You know what I think happens? I think this has a lot to do with it too. Everybody, I mean, nobody is the same person. So I mean, if you think about it, we all have our little separate fucking program in our brain that deciphers the world and everything around it. So I think a lot of these experiences, for one, come just like we see in different I don't want to say religions, but even like old spiritual, ideas and just old things. We see a lot of the same stories, but they're just represented differently because of the area that they were in, really. Those are just like ways of that person's mind, the way it was kind of looking and perceiving this world, is a way to show that story. And that's why you might have seen something different. I've seen something different. I would even go as far as to say as when you could have an experience 5 years ago that you thought was one thing, and now, like you see it differently now. Could that have been because you have started to change the program that's in your mind now? And then when you do have these memories of what happened, it's going to tell you it in a different way because your brain is now changed. It does not have the same program system, so it's going to relay that memory and that message in a way that you can understand it now.
Yes, exactly.
And that's why it starts to progress if you keep going forward with opening your mind.
That's an important word, programming, man. People are programmed, and that's what they need. They need to re-fucking program themselves.
As soon as we're born, that's all we are.
Yeah.
We're being, and it's not even like, in a vicious way. It's just, even with your parents, this is that's it, this is, you don't realize it, but that's all you are, is like, just like having a check system of like things for you from birth until, how far. I mean, if we were to think about it for real, and this is a part of actually doing, in my opinion, some of the real inner work of magic, you're going to have to look at yourself and be like, what fucking original idea have I ever really had? Because if you go back to, from being, everything's been based off of something that, if your opinion is probably tied to something somebody told you this was that. Something in school, a family member, a fucking teacher. Like, when did I really ever have, like, that much of an original idea on an experience that I had? You really fucking don't.
Yeah.
And you have to crash that shit in order, for my opinion, to go any farther.
You're right. And I think if you look at it as, consciousness as a collective, where it wants to grow an experience, say consciousness is a big giant and its fingers are us. We want to experience everything. And each, individual is going to have way different experience, but I think it's all a point to grow and keep expanding that experience. So they might not be an original idea, but we've added this and this and this to it. So it's a completely different thing now. And that is the evolution of everything and the evolution of consciousness,
Yeah. I like to think about it. I might have been with you. I said it one other time on the show. The best way I like to think of, like, even God or magic or consciousness, I think consciousness is actually a great example. And how I view a good occult way to explain our situation would be as if you had a lamp, took the lampshade off, you took a spaghetti strainer or something that, one of those
colander,
bowls.
we were talking about that.
Yes.
That was us, yeah.
Now, I mean, let's say, actually, believe it or not, this would make more sense to me of the situation, possibly. Let's say it was hanging from the ceiling, a regular lamp, a regular light bulb, hanging from the ceiling. You got up there, you put a colander around it, you flip that switch, that light bulb is now shining in through that colander, and now all those little separate little streams are smacking and hitting the ground. Be like, just like the night sky. Look something like that. Let's say now this is just a petri dish. I know that sounds crazy. But let's just say, that's where we are. All those little streams are still coming from that one source. but we have all been separated. And I think our soul recognizes that and wants and has the desire to go back up that stream to be with the one source.
And I think that is like
there is something inherent in all of us. It just depends on how programmed we've been to not see it.
Yeah, and I think there's a quickening of the desire to get back to that that's occurring right now.
Yes, I do believe that. I do believe that.
I think we're actually causing a little extra turmoil to get us to that point.
And I think, honestly, I think that's why there is so much fucking psyops going on right now, because they know the fucking mind is waking up, and we're like, we have to feed this motherfucker more bullshit to keep it fucking sleeping.
Yes, you're exactly right.
I do believe that. Yeah. Yeah, that's great.
Yeah,
man.
there's a major evolution and jump in consciousness, I believe, occurring right now, and that's what they're doing. They're trying to throw some dirt on it, keep it from growing, but it keeps popping on through, and it's not gonna stop. A friend of mine, Gloria Canning, put it great this way: like the game's already been won. It's a chess game. But the opponent keeps trying to prolong the game by moving its piece in strategic places. He's already lost. He knows he's lost. There's no move he can make that can win. But he's going to keep prolonging the game just to have that illusion that he could possibly win. And that's what's happening right now. There's 7 or 8 moves left till the game's over. It's already been lost, but we don't realize it yet. Most of the world don't realize it yet, but yeah, it's done.
Yeah. No, I believe that. Unfortunately, I think I look at it the same way, but a little bit darker. I think it would be as if we were playing a chess game. We're going to get checkmate, but there just might be very little pieces left on the board.
Well,
I mean, I hate to say it. I hate to say it that way, but
you may be right about that.
Yeah. But
I also this is a good one. I think we have a major split in timelines and reality right now. Yes. There's a lot of people that are living in a reality where there's a pandemic going on, where there's people dropping dead on the streets, and you have to get a oogada boogada jab just to have a job.
Yeah, I think that has a lot to do with it. Actually, I didn't want to get into that, we can. I just didn't know if you wanted to.
Yeah, then there's another reality, like my reality, where I walk outside, the sun's shining, the birds are chirping. I'm
two totally different realities, dude.
Yeah, and everything's fine. I'm looking around. I don't see people dropping down the street. I don't feel like I have to go take a oogada boogada. There is a distinct split in timelines right now, and I think it wants to converge, but it's being forced to split open because of those in charge that want to keep us apart. So I think that's what's going on right now.
I think you fucking nailed it on the head with that, and that was even what we'll leave it with this. That's what I was thinking of when we were talking about when I mentioned psyops. I definitely think the jab thing definitely is, and I will even add in the whole thing with Q. I think that is too. You have taken people on both sides now. And you actually have them. Now, this is what blows my mind, because I do believe we're in some sort of type of a matrix. I think this is a bullshit reality to begin with. So you have people that have bought into this whole reality itself. They're 100% in this world, have bought into it, scared as fuck, dependent as fuck. They live here. Now you've actually got them believing in a total other matrix of this reality. Because this shit is not that bad out there with that shit, but you are believing, this other false alternative reality. You have chose that. You have chose to believe that. And then on the right, you have motherfuckers choosing this other alternative reality of Q that does not exist, is not real, and you have them. So you are like 2 matrices fucking deep, even getting out. Out of fucking this situation. You are fucked. And that's exactly what they want. It will just keep going deeper and deeper until you have chosen to live in a complete different fucking world.
It's a matrix on top of a matrix.
Yes.
Man. It's like a double, triple whammy. Man, yeah, that's what it is. And that's unfortunately you have to decipher through all this shit nowadays. We live in incredible times, my friend.
Yeah, really.